Well, boys, hardcore World of Warcraft realms are launched, and we are watching today 10 must-do things on a fresh hardcore realms by Willy. This guy is super cool. He's doing super cool videos, so please subscribe to him. Of course, please subscribe to my channel. Let's react and see what we will do. And then we will use it on my streams.
Blizzard's hardcore realms are finally here, and with it, players around the world delve once again into classic World of Warcraft. Just this time with the extra challenge of being on a one-life character. And when we compare Blizzard's hardcore servers to the...
Oh, he's doing these cool shots, you know? He's starting the new character just for the shot. That's why his video is so good.
Official ones, there are a number of big changes that will affect how everyone plays, namely the ability to trade, mail, and use the auction house.
And also to be in the party with just strangers, because on the add-on hardcore you can't do that, and here you can, and I think it's a really good thing. Like you have your, you know, immersion to the world, you can trade, you can do stuff. Yeah, it basically someone in the months will be gold selling, but not in a month, sorry, in a few days. But anyway, like if you want to buy gold, you will buy gold. But this is something that is MMORPG about, right? Trading, partying, and all this stuff.
It's almost like a fresh reboot, but at the same time it's very different. So I thought it being a newer hardcore server, something that we haven't seen before in an official capacity, that I would go over a few useful tips if you're starting off, or have briefly already begun your hardcore journey. For me, these are 10 of the things that I would be thinking about when playing on a fresh hardcore realm. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor, FlexiSpot. FlexiSpot are a leading provider of high-quality ergonomic desks and chairs who are dedicated to improving both work and gaming spaces alike. I originally partnered with FlexiSpot over a year ago now, and I used both the standing desk and chair I got from them every day I was at the computer without issue. So I can certainly say their equipment does the job. This time around I received an E7 Pro standing desk and a BS12 Pro chair, which after some assembly are both very sturdy items that will be more than capable of supporting all my office needs. Also, now I'm used to using a standing desk, I think they are well worth the investment if you're at your computer for any reasonable amount of time. FlexiSpot are also celebrating their 7th anniversary and have plenty of great offers and rewards on at the moment,
cheap, actually,
including up to 50% off on some of their most popular products between August 28th to September 1st. Signing up to their newsletter on the site will also give you a site-wide 8% discount code too, the chance to win a PS5, and much more. Good office equipment is just as necessary as a good PC these days, and in my experience it is well worth the investment. You can check out FlexiSpot's anniversary sale, newsletter, and much more by clicking the links in the description below. Many thanks to FlexiSpot for the sponsor today. Let's get back to WoW. Let's start off with something that absolutely everyone should be doing as one of the first things you do on a new World of Warcraft character. Create a bank alt. With the ability to trade and use the auction house, having a character to act as a stash for items is a must. Whether it's spare cloth, uncommon items you can't use, or just quite literally anything that isn't a trash item, you should be hoarding it all over to your bank alt. You don't physically have to log into your bank alt for it to receive mail either, and whilst bag space may be a limitation early on, you can easily send stuff back and forth between your active hardcore character and your bank. There will be a huge and constant demand for low-level green items, with people having to restart characters over and over again. So whether you're keeping stuff to the side for yourself or just to throw on the auction house, you should definitely be making a bank alt. Also, it is classic World of...
Actually, this is really smart. I didn't thought about that. Like, I'm playing as a rogue, right? So I will get some green things and I will die. And why? I will not sell them. I will send them to the bank alt, and just after I will start the new character, I will... I don't know, it's not like cheating, it's not so hardcore, but if you can do that, it makes sense.
Of Warcraft, which means that all mail, even between your own characters, takes 1 hour to arrive. So if you send something and think, did I type in the wrong name? No, it's just one of those classic things. Next up, vendors are very, very good on fresh server releases. There are vendors in cities, smaller towns, or just randomly tucked away in little huts or camps throughout the world. Nearly every vendor will have a combination of their unlimited stock, which will be reagents, common weapons, and so on, as well as their limited availability stock, which regenerates sometimes every few minutes, sometimes every few hours. It varies a lot between different vendors. The limited stock will be those juicy things that people will buy the moment that they appear, such as uncommon armor or weapons, items that are used in quests, bronze tube on the Alliance for instance, and of course healing potions. They're pretty good when your character has one life. There are truly too many unique vendors with unique stock to list here, but the Handy Notes and Handy Notes NPC's classic add-on does allow you to see vendors on the map using these settings, as well as what they will be stocking. Since Blizzard have just done a large update to classic servers for the release of Hardcore, the NPC's add-on wasn't working at the moment when I checked it recently, but it might be worth a look later on to see if it's been updated, so that you can see which vendors are where and exactly what they will sell. Speaking of add-ons, there are two more that can help a lot when it comes to leveling up your character's abilities. As you all know, gold matters a lot in Classic, especially when you want to get your mount at or around level 40, and not overspending gold on abilities is a very good practice early game. The What's Training add-on adds a new tab on your spellbook that lets you see what spells or new ranks of spells you will be unlocking in the future. Some classes have levels where your first priority should be going back to train, like Rogues getting Vanish at 22, or Hunters feign death at 30. With this add-on you can know when these big levels are coming up and you should be heading back to town. I also like Spellbook Abridged. This allows you to collapse spell ranks as well as automatically adding new ranks of spells to your bar so that you don't have to go and drag them out of your spellbook or create a macro to use the highest rank. It also avoids the classic problem of forgetting to add a new rank to your spell bar. I think just about everyone has used a lower rank of something for longer than they thought they were, unless you are a warrior or a rogue, that is, where the game does it for you. Next up,
I mean, I think it's overkill, honestly. I think this things is just for the video, to the sake of the video. Like, these add-ons will help you with training. Just don't buy things that you don't need, right? If you don't understand what skills do you need or not, just play. You will not buy the mount on level 40. Who cares? We are having fun playing hardcore, right? If you know, just don't buy the skill, right? And play warrior and rogue, because ranks will be automatically added. So,
with the auction house being a thing on Classic Hardcore, it should be something that you check in with at regular intervals to see what you can find posted. I can guarantee you that there will be people rushing professions just to make gold as a first priority on the server release. A good weapon on a warrior or a paladin can make all a difference. Potions will be flowing like water from the auction house, as everyone will be.
Yeah, I have started engineering because I want PvP, you know, I want kill people and duel to the death, and also mining to level up engineering in more cheap way. But I think when I will level up it, I will definitely do the alchemy to do potions by myself, because potions will be super, super important.
Needing a healthy stack of them, and if you're a wand user, well, wands are very overpowered at early levels, though through regular questing it's going to be quite a while until you get one. On the Alliance,
I mean, for some classes like Priest, it's the must-have.
It's midway through Darkshore or early into Westfall, and for Horde I believe it's early into the Barrens when you first get a wand from a quest. Or you can find somebody who's gone enchanting early game and get yourself a lesser magic wand. I remember on 2019 Classic release getting one for about 20 or 25 silver from a mage in Stormwind. Trading gives us a lot of really good options for gearing, so make the most of it to keep your character up to date. Next up is dungeon questing. So one of the changes we have is a 24-hour lockout on all dungeons for characters below level 60. This aims to keep players out in the world questing rather than reverting back to the old dungeon grind or cleaving methods, which for hardcore I think is a good thing. What might be a problem though is that some dungeon quests really weren't designed to just be a one-time run and done. I think if you did all the quests in Scholarmance with different groups, it would take you a good 3 or 4 lockouts to get everything done, which obviously is not ideal if you want your Mirror's Song. And there are lower level quests too, such as the Serpent Bloom or Deviate Hide ones in the Wailing Caverns. You can finish one of those outside of the instance though, or the Troll Temper quest in Zul'Farrak. What I'm saying is that most dungeon runs will be quest runs in hardcore due to the nature of people constantly leveling, and everyone is going to be contesting the exact same quest items. It might very well be the case that in order to get everything done in a dungeon, you do have to do multiple runs across different days. It is a bit of a side effect from adding the lockout, but I think it's worth it to keep the open world more active. It also adds a bit of extra prestige to dungeons because you only get to do them once a day. Dungeons are definitely...
Actually, I think it's like... I don't agree with this video, actually. I mean, really doing great videos. And this video looks like he is focusing on the min-maxing, right? Like how to do the most perfect, most fast, most like min-max character progression, etc., etc. You don't need that on hardcore. You don't need that on hardcore. Just have fun because you will die, you know, and you'll start new character. Don't attached to the character. Okay, try one more. And actually, I have an idea. If I have cool items and I died, these items will be also like buy forever? That's a good question. Do you know that, guys? Please comment below what will be with the gear that was on the character that died. That's a good question, actually. So, long story short, just have fun. Go to the dungeons. Do your progression of the character. Do the duels if you want. Duel to the death, right? And don't care.
A risk when you might not know everyone in the party, but the item rewards will often be better than what you can get from quests, and the experience rewards are not half bad either. Next up is weapon skill. It's something that's easy to forget, but something you have to stay on top of as a hardcore character. Try to remember when you're first visiting a capital city to pass by the weapon trainer and to learn all the various skills in case you get a good weapon later.
Man, this man is shredded. Bull pink. Man, this guy is shredded.
On. You can also see weapon trainers on the Handy Notes NPC add-on I mentioned earlier.
I mean, this is really handy notes, right?
Working, that is. Different weapon skills are taught at different capitals, but they all cost 10 silver.
Did you saw that?
Working, that is.
Let me show you. Crossbows. Yesterday on the stream, I found the crossbow skill. Did we have crossbows in the World of Warcraft before? Actually, I don't remember that. I never saw even one.
Weapon skills are taught at different capitals, but they all cost 10 silver
Had
to
we
learn.
them before?
Apart from polearms, for which you need to be level 20, and they cost 1 gold to train. Were polearms meant to be elite weapons or something? Why are they different? Who knows? Classic World of Warcraft for you. Weapon skill is important for everyone and will contribute a huge amount to your damage output, so don't neglect it.
Like yesterday, I switched from daggers to swords as a rogue, and the first few mobs were really tricky because I forgot about that, right? And you need to level up your weapon
your
before you go. Your
defense skill is just
defense as well. If you're playing like a mage or a hunter, you're not monsters don't hit you much, right? And when they do, and you don't have defense skill, they can one-shot you, so be cautious, please.
Important. Defense is a rather strange stat that kind of gets overlooked unless you are a tank, but it has a massive impact on how much incoming damage you will receive.
Exactly. So, mob's weapon skill minus player level, capped defense skill, minus difference 20. And if you have from 300, you have only 100. Weapon skill minus 100, it hit really hard.
Whatever your class is. Though you train defense just by getting hit, the problem is some classes, well, they don't get hit, such as mage, hunter or warlock. Think of the classes which can kite really efficiently or just have a pet to tank for them. Each 5 defense levels are equal to 1 combat level, and if an enemy's weapon skill, which is always their combat level times 5, is 3 or more levels higher than you can be affected by crushing blows, which deal 150% of regular damage. Here I am on a level 20 mage with a defense skill of 90, being hit by an enemy that's level 21. Despite there only being 1 combat level between us, my defense skill is 10 off its cap for my level. And since each 5 defense skill is equal to 1 combat level, this means I'm being hit as if I was level 18. Because of that, the enemy can land crushing blows on me, as you can see here. Were my defense 85 in this clip, I would receive crushing blows from an enemy the same level as me. And you kinda just don't expect that to happen unless you know how this interaction works. Crushing blows combined with critical strikes can deal far more damage than you would expect in a very short space of time. So if you're on a class which doesn't naturally train its defense stat, you should keep this in mind. Next up, named mobs. They might not always be worth it. If unofficial servers showed us one thing, it's that the starter zone on hardcore realms are perhaps the busiest they've ever been in the history of WoW, and each and every starter zone has named mobs and quest items which are highly contested. Now fortunately, on Blizzard's hardcore we can group, and respawn timers have been reduced at comp.
Yeah, respawn time reduced significantly, and it's really good because on the launch, by the way, launch was super smooth, like big W to the Blizzard. It was super great, and respawn timing is small, so you have all these mobs. Like you don't have queues, you don't wait, you just play and having fun. That's cool.
And I hope that is enough to make the way worth it. But if the mob tagging or constant forming and dropping groups isn't for you, just grinding less contested mobs is always a viable strategy. You'd be surprised how fast at a low level you can get ahead of others just by grinding if questing areas are too busy. I'm hoping with the changes that Blizzard have made though that this is only a very
But it's not already busy. Like even in the first hour of launch of the servers, after first hour everybody was on the next location, so I was grinding quests pretty easily. I only dropped one quest because it was, on the first Undead City, the boxes. It was, everybody just was waiting for them. But other than that, everything was super smooth.
Short release week type solution though. Moving on though, we have talked about how good vendors are in terms of their limited stock, but early on into the game, just even the common quality weapons they offer are not that bad of an alternative.
Exactly. Like if you're, like for instance, I'm Rogue, I just bought few swords, good ones. They are like +2 DPS in both hands, and I'm destroying monsters with the same level as myself. Just buy good weapon, don't be greedy.
Of course, there will be a lot of items on the auction house, and I don't think they're going to be super expensive because everyone's going to be sending everything to a bank vault and then posting it from there. All the same, if you aren't getting an upgrade, don't forget about the common quality weapons from vendors. They're really not that bad. Finally, buff and be buffed. It's a small gesture to give your fellow players a little buff, but that extra bit of stamina, attack power, armor, whatever it is, can go a long way to keeping your character alive should things go wrong. And that is just about it. There is always tons to do on a fresh release, and I hope that some of these are useful to you and are things that you would consider doing too. If there's anything else you're getting up to or you think would be of use on a fresh hardcore realm, do drop it down below. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening in, and I'll see you all in the next one very soon.
That's like, it was not the groundbreaking video, right? It was just the video about some stuff, some refreshing things, something I don't agree with, but anyway, it's like good to, to refresh things, to understand them. For instance, for me, it was the bank alt. I didn't thought about that. And for you, maybe it will be the crushing blows if you're playing as a mage and all these small thingies, which is super crucial when you have only one life on the character, right? So subscribe, but definitely subscribe to the video. And please drop below, what do you think? What's your tips and tricks? Maybe you will think about some theme for the video, because I am preparing a few videos about World of Warcraft Hardcore. I was happy to see you. Please drop like, drop subscribe, and dislike if you don't like this video, right? And I was happy to see you guys. And I will see you next one. Maybe today on my stream in the evening. Bye.